This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
No. Y'all,
This
just
is
stop.
a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. I say it a lot, but I mean, that one was close. That one was close. I mean, nobody was sitting down 2 seconds ago. Not one person.
We were playing musical chairs.
Seats. So we've
It
only
was
done
my fault.
6 seasons.
I take responsibility.
We should start 5 seconds before and just show us kind of like scrambling and then just pretend nobody saw and then just open the show and be like, hey, welcome
Don't
to Daily
acknowledge
Blast.
it.
Yeah, don't acknowledge it, but we should start 5 seconds early. What do you think about that? I'm down with it.
Probably not. I don't know if I'll actually have clothes on.
You never know what we're going to look like. All right, let's get into it. Happy Monday, everybody. Comedian Billy Eichner. Hey, everybody, welcome. Happy Monday. Comedian Billy Eichner's gay rom-com Bros tanked at the box office over the weekend. The movie only brought in $4.8 million, and it cost $22 million to make. It was the first time a gay rom-com was backed by a major studio. Critics seemed to like it. It got a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 92% audience score. In a tweet, Billy blamed straight people, especially in Middle America and the South, for staying away, and made a plea for anyone who isn't a, quote, homophobic weirdo to go see the movie. All right, so what do we say? First of all, this is Judd Apatow. It's going to be funny. Whatever you think it's going to be funny. It's Judd Apatow. But now we have the gay rom-com, right? Mm-hmm. And Billy saying this and calling people out. What do you think about him calling people who don't see the movie, and I know it's just kind of in jest, but calling them a homophobic weirdo?
I think the homophobic weirdo part probably came from the backlash from people who had no intention of seeing or supporting the movie, but wanted to make sure that people knew that they were opposed to it. And there was a lot, but we see that also with Haley Bailey being the Black Little Mermaid. So there are going to be people who are just 100% trying to make sure that their thoughts and their homophobia, racism, whatever, are known. That being said, this isn't going to be, I don't think anyone thought it was going to be a blockbuster showing because it isn't with the 4 quadrants that we talk about, like female, male, female, young, old. It kind of gets you everybody. I plan on seeing the movie, but am I going to the movie theater to see it? I'm not going to see it.
I don't think I'll ever, to be honest with you, I'm not sure I'll ever really go to see a rom-com in the theaters again. Rom-com to me feels very streamy, feels very at home, feels very popcorny. If I want to see Top Gun or Wakanda Forever or a big, big movie, I want to see it with the big surround sound, that's when I'm going to go pay the money. I'm not going to go and see a meet cute with no stars in it. Billy Eichner,
a what?
A meet cute. That's like a rom-com.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a little new way of saying it. But, and I also think Billy Eichner isn't, and I love him. I love Billy on the Street. I don't think he's a big enough star. We had The Lost City, which had Sandra Bullock, Brad Pitt, Channing Tatum. That's a rom-com people might go because you're getting a pull, but there's no big people in this movie. So no theater, no stars. I think that's sort of the genre is what did it. I'm not sure it was homophobia all the way.
I don't think it was either, and I think what we heard in that comment was just somebody that was hurt. I know we talk around a lot of things. I just think this is your life stream. You are a gay man that started in show business, talking to people on the street, and you made it up to the penthouse, like literally of a movie studio, and they made a movie based on your experiences. And to have the negative backlash, I think that's where we arrived at that tweet. But what I think about, if we take it away from sexuality, if we take it away from just like what people tend to watch when they're at home and when they're not, think about if like Tim Robbins or Morgan Freeman had tweeted this about Shawshank, because Shawshank tanked at the box office, tanked. But it found its second life and is now the #1 movie of all time on Rotten Tomatoes because it found a life on TNT. And it still, I was talking to our producer Chris about it like a month ago. He said it still hits a number. It still gets a number anytime they play it. So I hope Billy is able to not walk back these comments. He felt how he felt and he's free to express himself. But just understand that there might be a bigger second life for this movie as long as the situation around it doesn't become too toxic.
It could be a cult classic.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Right?
I'm glad that you brought up the feelings aspect of it too, because I do think it's important to acknowledge when you are a first or getting in that first realm, there is a pressure like no other, because the #1 thing that I hear from people who I hear from who are I hear from people who have been first is that they feel like if they don't succeed, then the person coming behind them will have a harder time. And you want to have an easier time for the people coming behind you. So I can see that he feels a lot of pressure.
The Jackie Robinson syndrome.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? You know, if Jackie Robinson wasn't a good player, like what that, see, told you, you know, he had so much pressure going on. It's the same in the situation.
Absolutely. All right. So, guys, it's been 2 weeks since Adam Levine was accused of cheating on his wife, but she is standing by her man. So Maroon 5 performed at a charity event hosted by Shaq on Saturday, and there are multiple reports that Adam's pregnant wife was also there. Adam denies having an affair, but admits that he acted inappropriately during his 8-year marriage. So, should we be judging this guy if his wife is forgiving him? Should we forgive him, Erica, or no?
I have no forgive or forgive not, but Shaq hosted it.
I know.
Yes. Well,
So this is funny because Shaq was asked about the Adam Levine story, and he was like, "Well, as a serial cheater, I feel like I'm not the right person."
Yeah.
to
He said that?
Yeah, he said that.
That's
It was,
pretty funny.
It was so disarmingly honest.
Yeah.
And that's what really Adam Levine sort of, in my opinion, I don't know, maybe should have done, is been a bit more honest with what's going on right now. All we know is he maybe wanted to name his unborn child after his somewhat mistress. All of these are really bad. To go and be with Shaq feels like a really weird combo.
Well, you know,
is that weird for you to say?
I know that. No, I know.
'Cause
It's the combo you would not expect at all.
Yeah.
That's not really. You're not going on a limb. You know, we don't always think. I think when I think Shaq, I think Maroon 5.
Okay.
But no, you know, I look at I watched the interview with Shaq and how honest he was, and I wrote on this TV show for years, and I remember. One of the things that I really liked about him is I think because when you're 7'2", 400 pounds, you just don't ever have to lie to people about anything.
Can't hide
You're just
anything,
like, this is how I feel. And Shaq was so honest. I think that it was really humanizing, not only to Adam Levine, because this is clearly one of the worst moments of his life, I hope. And we always talk about, well, somebody's got to get an entryway back into society. Shaq gave him the on-ramp. Shaq is trying to humanize him. He's a person that did a terrible thing, something that we will all hopefully never do, but all of us will have the worst thing we ever do in our life. And the way that we respond to it and the way our friends respond to us is how you know who's real and who's not.
Or you put it on Saturday Night Live.
There you go.
Yeah. And it kind of makes some light of it. So
Nice.
speaking of Adam Levine, a new season of SNL kicked off this weekend, and they made fun of the singer's situation. Hilarious. Take a look.
Again, the game is send a woman a normal DM, and you win $100 million.
To kick things off with a holy moly!
Are you sure?
Yeah, but I got 3 more though. Holy moly! Holy crap!
All right, so this is the 48th season of SNL, and they added 4 new cast members to the lineup after losing 8 people last season. It's one of the biggest transitions for the show in over 20 years. How do you guys feel about Saturday Night Live these days, as opposed to maybe the old days when they kind of made fun of everybody? I feel like they're very selective in who they are allowed to make fun of these days. Do you feel that way? Are you still watching? You think it's going to on its decline? Anyone else want to jump in?
I was like, I don't have that depth of knowledge about Saturday Night Live. I wasn't allowed to watch it growing up, and then I watched it a little bit in college, and now I really only know Saturday Night Live by clips. I mean, I'm a digital viewer of Saturday Night Live.
Which is what a lot of people are.
Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously my buddy Michael Che is on that show, and that show still does very well with a certain demographic. And, you know, looking at those faces, especially losing 8 players from the season before, it looks like they're trying to get younger. I've heard rumors that at 50, Lorne Michaels might step down, and that might be the end of it.
I have also heard those rumors.
So, I mean, I'm interested to see, like, where this is going, if they're kind of throttling down or kind of getting ready for another person to come in and take over. But I think that SNL hits a certain demo. It's not for us. It's probably for people that are 14 to maybe 18, 14 to 20 that are still at home on Saturday nights. And that's who it's going to speak to. And Adam Levine is a person that their mom liked that's now being lampooned. So it will hit a certain demographic that I think is right in line with SNL.
Yeah, SNL used to, though, politically be so funny for the people who are a little bit older. And I think that's where, like, the Gerald Fords and the Jimmy Carters and the Chevy Chases, and now it's more pop culture oriented. I also will say
You don't think it was political a couple months ago?
It was, and then it goes in and out. I just think it becomes, it's skewing younger, and I agree with you on that. And I'm not sure how the audience will do. But second of all, 8 people leaving, this year is going to be rough for SNL because you're used to seeing the same people over and over again. We don't know these people. The rhythm will be off. The chemistry.
All you need is one breakout star.
We'll see. We'll see.
I think if they change the material a little bit and reach for it a little bit more, they might get some more viewers. But as of right now, I don't know. We'll see. Coming up on DBL, the Me Too movement took over Hollywood 5 years ago. But what really happened to the men who got canceled? They're on Saturday Night Live now. And, no, I'm just kidding. And Kanye West makes his runway debut during a muddy fashion show. We'll explain next.
Did you see the invite?
Closed captioning provided by.
I'm easily tickled, y'all. It doesn't take much.
We're going to sit here and be right.
I know y'all gonna be mad at me, but I'm just telling you the truth.
You can smirk all you want. You don't have to tell me to go.
Brad Pitt.
Tell that story.
Well, yeah. So it's called the Mud House, the Balenciaga Mud House. And if you didn't know, it's a house.
I'm familiar.
It's a house full of mud. And Kanye walked out, and their invites, I was just telling Al this, were old distressed wallets that said Balenciaga on it that were all like crumbly, and you open it, and there are actual letters and identifications of people who worked at Balenciaga for years, like seamstresses or atelier house managers, and you got to see their credit card. They're all fake, obviously, but it's real people, and you go as that person to the Balenciaga show. And I thought it was really cool. If you want to see it, Balenciaga, whatever. Eva Chen, who is, I think, a wonderful person to watch on Instagram, she shows off the wallet if you want to see a full video on it. And it's really neat. I mean, people have gotten really crazy with the invites.
Right.
You have to crack things open.
I just want to say I kind of disagree with you about Billy Eichner, about him not being a star, because you forgot to mention how he plays Timon in The Lion King, like received a full nomination for that as well. I think he could stand having his own movie and being the celebrity.
I don't.
There's stars, and you know what a comic said to me one time. He's passed, but he said a headliner is somebody who's you put their name on the marquee and people buy tickets.
Right.
And he was like, that's it.
No, I don't think he's big enough star yet.
That's the headline. It's not people don't know him.
Right.
It's
there's no draw.
When they put your name. Yes.
No. He's a TV star.
Yes. If Eddie Murphy makes a movie that's for adults, people are buying tickets. If Tom Cruise makes a movie, I don't know. If it just has a black box over it, people will buy tickets.
Billy Eichner doesn't have that draw.
But yeah,
no, I just think he's a star.
But yeah, he's definitely a star. But you know, like with everything, there's levels. Yeah. And Billy's there. But if this becomes a
I love Billy Eichner, but is he a star?
Wait, how is that?
20 seconds.
I didn't know what I was just watching. Welcome back. That was Kanye West making his runway debut for a collection that isn't even his. The Yeezy founder opened the Balenciaga show during Paris Fashion Week. I just want to say in my Balenciagis.
Yeah.
Like that show. I love that part. That's hot. All right, but he isn't the only model grabbing headlines from the ankle-deep mud runway. So this model is going viral for walking her unique walk down the runway.
He terrified me.
Dude, that's like Walking Dead.
I know.
Yeah, it is.
I know.
Maybe that's like the whole thing, right? It's supposed to be a little creepy.
Little zombie, post-apocalyptic. I think
is that kind of the theme?
I think from that.
I think I can hear her actually. She said, "What has my career come to?
This is big.
I made it to Balenciaga and I gotta walk in the mud."
I love it. First of all, it looks like something you tell your psychologist you keep seeing in your dreams. But
and Kanye, they keep throwing around.
What does that mean? It means you're mad at your dad. But no, look, you guys know that I've had my issues with Kanye, some serious issues about things that he said that I found deeply offensive and things that I've gone back and forth with about him. But I will give that man this. He is an artist, and an artist's job is to make you feel some kind of way. And if you feel like that's the dumbest thing you've ever seen, if you feel like the invites are the coolest thing you've ever seen, if you think the comments about Harriet Tubman were the most offensive thing you've ever heard, if College Dropout was the best thing that happened to you in your 30s, all these things make you feel some kind of way. And in that way, if that's the definition of an artist, he is that.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. All right, so there's a couple other headlines from Fashion Week. Model Bella Hadid was painted during a fashion show. She walked onto the stage in underwear and heels and was painted by 3 men. And Andie MacDowell is getting major props for rocking her gray hair. The actress showed off her salt and pepper curls while walking down the runway for L'Oreal. Can we go back to that other one real fast?
Yeah, because I want to talk about that.
Okay, yeah, let's get that Bella Hadid one up, because I want to see her getting painted because it turns into a dress, right?
So what happens is what they're painting is some kind of synthetic material, and a woman comes after they painted her and does this with the dress. She moves some things over, so one goes over her shoulder, and the material starts to harden like clay and becomes movable. And they move. She pushed it down here. She made a little slit, and all of a sudden it solidified. And Hadid got up and walked it like it was a real dress. It moved like a dress. It looked like clothing.
That's crazy.
It was fantastic. It was so out of the box that the walk was like, how did they make this? That's what I love about these weird avant-garde things. She came in fully, except underwear, just covered her top, and they did it in the deconstructed it and created.
That's the dress at the end?
That's the dress. Within minutes, this dress hardened. It's insane. It's a chemical substance that created almost like 3D printing. They 3D printed her dress on air. Live.
What do you think those fumes are like?
Not great. Yeah. That's what that other woman was walking like this.
Jeez, you get a little in your nose, you pull out like a...
I liked it.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks. I was like, hey, look, here's a handkerchief. All right, that's enough of that. Coming up on DBL, the Me Too movement started 5 years ago, but are stars like James Franco and Louis C.K. out of Hollywood forever? We're going to talk about it next.
Category 5 hurricanes are the strongest storms on the Saffir-Simpson scale. They have winds in excess of 157 miles per hour and can cause widespread destruction. Hurricane Ian made landfall Wednesday with winds of 155 miles per hour, just shy of Category 5 status. This prompted people on social media to ask how many times a hurricane of that magnitude has hit the U.S. So, let's verify. Have only 4 Category 5 strength hurricanes hit the mainland U.S.? Our sources are the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and the University of Miami's Tropical Atlantic Headquarters. More than 270 Atlantic hurricanes have hit the U.S. since record-keeping began in 1851. Most were considered minor hurricanes, but NOAA says there were 4 storms that reached Category 5 strength when they made landfall on the mainland. The first was the Labor Day hurricane in 1935 that hit the Florida Keys. Then there was Hurricane Camille in Mississippi in 1969, Andrew in 1992 south of Miami, and Michael in 2018 along the Florida Panhandle. So, yes, there have only been 4 Category 5 strength hurricanes to hit the mainland U.S. There were also additional Category 5 storms that hit the U.S. territories of Puerto Rico or the U.S. Virgin Islands. Just because a storm isn't a Category 5 doesn't mean it can't cause significant damage. Hurricane Katrina was a Category 5 storm, but weakened to a Category 3 by the time it made landfall near New Orleans in 2005. It remains the nation's costliest hurricane. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter answers your questions, clarifies what's true and false, and even includes a daily fun fact. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
Fancy, Rob. I like it. Welcome back. Can you believe it's been 5 years since the Me Too movement launched a wave of accusations against some big-name celebs? So where are those celebs now? Well, Harvey Weinstein was convicted of rape and is serving 23 years in prison. Kevin Spacey was recast in a film and was kicked off House of Cards, if you remember. He's currently facing sexual assault charges in the UK. Matt Lauer lost his Today Show gig after being accused of inappropriate sexual behavior in the workplace. Some stars like James Franco, who was accused of sexual misconduct, have been cast in new projects like the upcoming Fidel Castro movie. And Louis C.K. won a Grammy and is set to play MSG next year after he admitted to making inappropriate sexual advances to other women. So what do you guys think? You kind of asked me this earlier. I'll bounce it back to you. What do you think, like, canceling means and making that comeback from being canceled?
I think a lot about canceling and just like what it means for society. And in a weird way, I compare it to like you hire an SEO company, a search engine optimization company, to find out who your target customers are. And in a weird way, that's what canceling does. Canceling, if you look at the masses, 95% of the people may walk away, so that 5% is what you pay a company to find for you, the people you directly talk to. So Louis won a Grammy because he was like, oh, I don't have to worry about people that are offended by me. I don't have to make nice with the news junkets. I can just talk to this 5% of people, and those 5% of people are enough to fill up MSG and get him a Grammy. If you have something that people want to hear, Alex Jones, anybody, James Franco, people like to look at him, let's be honest. James Franco still has a career. They will get rid of you at the end. Harvey Weinstein, after he made 100 pictures and a lot of money for a lot of people, they got rid of him. Bill Cosby, after he made a lot of money for people, they got rid of him. But I'm saying during your run, if you can make money, you will still have a platform some kind of way.
I also want to just point out that the people you mentioned have done much more violent, horrific things than, let's say, a James Franco, or allegedly. I mean, the Harvey Weinstein rape, the Bill Cosby conviction of the drugs. It depends on sort of what you do and who you are, but when it becomes so violent, and that to me isn't canceling, that's being held accountable and convicted. I don't like the word canceling. I think some people are held accountable, some people aren't. And I think at some point, when you work to get that accountability back, like, may I say, Chrissy Teigen, who got sober and apologized and sort of showed attrition, you can come back if your crime wasn't that egregious, I think, in canceling.
I don't think we know what canceling means right now. I think canceling was something that is very, I say this all the time, but like, this is a very real-time social experiment, so to speak, because there isn't truly a template for this. Even people who have been held accountable in the past and have had, you know, are known to have done very egregious things, like, there has never been 100% like, this is the process for which we now make you fall off the earth. Like, there isn't a process for that. So I think that this is a question that we can ask ourselves in 10 years, maybe in 20 years, because we don't know what the lasting effects of this moment are.
Yeah, I feel like we're kind of seeing a little bit of what's happening now with the cancellation of people, with the things that aren't so egregious.
Right.
The ones that are egregious, I think we all could agree, right? You send them to jail. They drugged women and raped women, and there's a lot of people out there that did that, and you need to separate those. The people who didn't do hardly, I always use Chris Harrison as an example. People don't like it. There's no road back for him because he can't sell out arenas. He can't, like, I would guess, hold a podcast. Maybe he could tell bachelor stories. Then he could make his own money. If you have a route to make your own money without the machine behind you, the ABCs, the CBS, the networks that promote your movies, the Entertainment Tonight, if you could make money without the machine, you can't be canceled.
Alex Jones.
If you could sell out arenas, sell your podcast, make money off of advertising, and make money that way, you don't need those. So I think we're seeing people now find their own way. Even after being canceled by the machine, they're like, well, you know what, I'll just do it this way. And now the machine is like, we're cutting off our nose to spite our face. This person's making millions of dollars, and we just let them walk. Dave Chappelle's you're not going to do this arena because I'm too prideful, I'm going to cut off my nose. He went across the street and sold out.
In Minnesota, yes.
Yeah, Atlanta wanted to sell out. They didn't want the Major League Baseball there. Colorado, we'll take it.
Right.
I mean, at some point, it's all about money, right? All right, we'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
border security a major issue on the debate stage. Governor Abbott attacked O'Rourke early.
Beto just wants to perpetuate the open border policy is to mischaracterize exactly what's going on.
Our source is Beto O'Rourke's own campaign website. O'Rourke has a plan that includes investing in border enforcement that actually works. He also supports more legal pathways to citizenship and a guest worker program. So we can verify Abbott's claim is false. O'Rourke does not support open borders. O'Rourke accused the governor of policy failures at the border, including Operation Lone Star.
Numbers are in. We're seeing not fewer but more engagements at our border. When the governor spent $4 billion of our tax dollars on what has turned out to be political theater for his political career, he promised us that it would deter people from coming to this country. We've only seen more people come.
Our sources here, the governor's office and CBP. Per the governor, he's invested $4 billion in Operation Lone Star, and CBP confirms border crossings are higher this year than previous years dating back to 2019. So we can verify O'Rourke's claim is true. Abbott also claimed there was, quote, a record amount of fentanyl coming across our border.
Texas law enforcement has seized enough fentanyl to kill every man, woman, and child in the entire country.
Our source here is CBP data. CBP reports seizing more than 12,900 pounds of fentanyl this fiscal year. That's a new record compared to just 2,800 pounds in 2019. We can verify that is true. How many people it could kill is not verifiable.
Some of the images out of Florida this week have been hard to believe, and some you shouldn't believe. So let's look at some of the wildest viral posts we're seeing online, digging into the details using these sources. We're going to start with a classic hurricane hoax. Pictures like this one, this tweet showing a shark on a highway. And so it says. It's gotten nearly 45,000 retweets, 477,000 likes, and that's just this time around. Turns out that this is the same photo that was shared during at least 3 previous major hurricanes. But it turns out it's actually from a 2005 issue of Africa Geographic magazine. This photo spread right here, edited to look like it actually happened on an interstate. Okay, how about this video right here with more than 200,000 views showing people partying on a balcony, supposedly during Ian's lightning strikes.
Something's on fire!
Now, we were able to find exactly where this video was taken in Fort Myers, which is near where Hurricane Ian made landfall, but it's an old video posted to both Imager and TikTok months ago, not during the hurricane. And here's another video showing a massive seal scooting along the sidewalk, supposedly in Florida. More than 15 million people have watched this video, which was actually taken in 2020 in a coastal town in southern Chile. Don't worry, according to an Argentinian news outlet that reported the story at the time, the Chilean Navy and local community helped the seal get back to sea. Check out this photo of a flock of flamingos hanging out in a bathroom hunkered down for the storm. It turns out this one is real. The flamingos live at Sunken Gardens Park in St. Petersburg, Florida. They shared the photo from their official account to let people know the flamingos were having a hurricane party in the bathroom, eating, drinking, and dancing. Sounds like a good way to ride out a storm to me. If you have something you want us to verify, send it our way. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
Welcome back. There are so many ways to help your joints and muscles feel better, but have you heard about hydrotherapy exercise? It's time for some joint and muscle support brought to you by Omega XL. So hydrotherapy exercises are specialized movements done in warm water to help loosen tight muscles. Since there's no gravity underwater, hydrotherapy exercise may be more comfortable for people with joint pain. Omega XL has improved the lives of millions of consumers, supported by 30 years of clinical research. Omega XL's powerful and proven benefits have transformed the lives of athletes, celebrities, and dedicated daily users. Call 1-800-686-5325 or visit OmegaXL.com for more information. Every time I go to the gym and I see like older crowd like in there in the pool like early, I'm like, that looks like fun.
You're excited?
I'm looking forward to that. And just complaining about the earth. And just going around. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.